So this is going to be the weekly tarot reading. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I know I just had the Supreme Court, talked about things, about her own Christian faith. I want to talk about something because there is something that sometimes the light worker can get confused about a few things. There are a lot of light workers, that are, you could say, they believe in Jesus. They may even identify as Christian and light worker, but Jesus plays a role on their path. Now, how people view can be very different. The light worker, especially, a lot of times they take a little bit from other religions and kind of pull certain things to kind of create their path, which is what they do. Where a lot of Christians are like, nope, nope, just a straight, thing. But one of the things that, a message that I really wanted to get out, that I was really feeling from the Spirit, is there is a huge difference between, the regular everyday Christian and what we are seeing portrayed, in a political type of sense. If you take the political out of the picture, or people that are doing more kind of a counterfeit type of Christianity, those really, to me, in my heart, and I know it, don't represent the majority of your regular everyday people who call themselves Christians. It's real important to understand, that if you sit there and you talk with people that are just your regular everyday people, they're not like that. Okay. You know, like when Trump stood in front of the church with the upside down Bible, there are people who were, who like root him on. But the everyday Christian knows, just like the people that worked in that church that were a part of it called it a sacrilege. They knew, especially shooting the peaceful protesters, that scene. And so when you see other spiritualists speaking out against what happened, that, he stood in front of a church with the Bible and, peaceful protesters were being shot at, with rubber bullets and tear gas and everything. This is not Jesus. And any sane, notice I say, sane Christians knows that's not Christianity. Okay. So I think it's real important as a light worker message. What I want to get out there, is that, we do, it's already hard enough that there are people who are going to be like tarot cards, crystals, you've got Buddha statues, you've got a dream catcher hanging up there. Ooh, ooh, it's bad enough people are afraid of that and everything. And at the same time, I kind of understand. I understand a little bit why you might not understand all that, especially when certain things have been taught a certain way. But on the same token, we got to inevitably one day kind of come together, certain things, with our faith, and really kind of, we could learn from each other and appreciate each other. But I want, I was listening to some Christians that were just on a show, and they were talking. And as I listened to them, just really that love of Jesus was real. That's one of the things that I was really listening. And they were reading from scriptures, that, are about taking care of people and loving your neighbor. And, seeing other people as better than you. That, no, I want you to see everyone else as better than you. I want you to adopt that position. That's pretty wild stuff, right? If you get down into the teachings, it's an incredibly selfless path. It really is. And it's really about taking care of people, and helping others. Like a lot of, charity organizations, Salvation Army, is a big one, but various causes and nonprofit organizations, many of them come from that spirit, you know, and, with people that really have an honest love of Jesus and trying to do good things. And so, if I see a light worker who is like rejecting that, okay, it's like, no, that if you reject that, it's kind of hard to be a light worker, right? So many do have Jesus on the path, but they're trying to do it the right way. But I feel what makes it hard, on the light worker path, because say they're a light worker, but they have Jesus on the path, is dealing with that kind of um, that real conservative, that real extreme conservative type of situations when people are coming at that, or maybe, trying to badmouth their path or the way they do things. That can create something because faith and your belief in God, spirit, Jesus, however you want to define it, is a very personal matter. So people can, they can feel very hurt. They can feel like they have to defend themselves, in various ways. You know, so what's real important, one of the messages I really just want to get out this week though, is there's a lot of division going on. And it's real important, that we as spiritualists do not get pulled into a situation where we're opposing the wrong thing. I guess that's the best way I can put it. If you're going to go in opposition with something, make sure you're opposing the right thing. But, just like, we're not here to oppose Christianity as a whole, you know, but certain things that may come across hypocritical, lying, or, not taking care of your neighbor and things like that. Just like a lot of us, like look at these mega churches, people just raking in hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars and things like that. And then they if you want to rake in all that money, that's fine. But Jesus would tell you to give it back, to go clothe people and feed them and do good things. And a lot of them aren't doing that. They've got mansions, they've got fancy cars, they've got jets. Okay. And this is not the way. This is just like the people that I was watching on TV at night. That's not them. Especially, reading from certain scriptures, just like somebody had done a post in my group, where they were talking about the law of attraction. And they were like, I'm having a hard time resolving this whole law of attraction thing, because if we attract certain things to us, because of, the way the universe, like what you send out comes back to you, things like that, in manifestation. What's going on with African Americans and all, that they're going through and everything, all the terrible things. How do I resolve that? And, the main thing I could say, the one short, answer was the meek shall inherit the earth. That's one thing that the people that you really see trampled on now, when that new earth comes, they're going to inherit the earth. Okay? That's the thing. Like, and I know that, it's just like making the crooked straight. I know inevitably when the new earth comes, there's a lot of people who think it's going to be one way. And then when it shows up, it's going to be the meek inherit the earth, okay? The people, that were, always faithful and hung in there, and had a true love of spirit but, just kept getting kicked down every time they turned around and everything. That's, Spirit's going to raise them up. You better be prepared. Definitely. Let's do a little tarot reading for the weekly tarot reading, though. But just one of the things is, I feel like it's real important in this spirit of division that, be careful, with all that, that, other religions or this or that, the political religion, just X that out of the equation. It's not real. I guess that's the best way I could say that. And really seek the real in people. Because there are a lot of people, we all want the country to get better. We all deep down do that. And there are a lot of Christians that do see, as I was kind of watching this tonight, they do see what's going on. Okay? They do see something wrong with kids in cages. That's not Jesus's way. They're, we need to hear them more. But I feel like one of the things with the media, though, we each side each side is trying to demonize the other. So we want to hear the same voices here. Like, well, I'm going to demonize all them, but what about the other voices? Like, say if you are listening to CNN, what about the good Christians that are out there trying to do the right thing, and just follow, be true to their path and everything, and maybe they're not voting for Trump because of what's going on and everything. And then the other side, obviously Fox News, has its own views, of how they portray, everybody as anarchists and all this stuff and leftists and all these negative things. And that's just not what people are, you know. And then they show extreme examples of things to try to manipulate you. So it's real important, and that's what the Ace of Air is about the truth, really cutting to the chase and seeing the truth. So be careful with that. Even, I try to be careful, like the news, you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt. You got to see everything through spirit's eyes, not theirs. Okay, that is really important. And I was just talking about like the Four of Earth. This is one of the things spirit is really about. Like, this is the one that holds onto their money. The Four of Pentacles guy, he's like this with the pentacles and everything. And and that's a big thing why we're in trouble, okay? Because it is true. I mean, if I have to say it, yeah, we are a nation under God, and it's true that anybody who's found the spiritual path knows what the spiritual path can do for you. A life with spirit and how it can change and transform you. That is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to transform you and everything. But once that transformation and you've had your healing take place, just like I tell you guys in the group and everything, then we want to go out and try to help others to be able to heal and do the same. We want to help them to find the spirit and do the same. The main reason I do readings, and it's not even for profit, because I read a long time free before I ever even started doing that. But the main reason I try to read for others, my main intent is also yes, it is to help them, but I want to show them that the spirit exists. Because there's something magical that happens when a person has a reading and they get a message from spirit and certain things are validated that there's no way I could have known. But I don't give credit to myself because I'm just a vessel. And that gift can be taken away from me at any time, any day. The only reason is because I'm getting it from something higher than me. So that's one of the things I want to do, is to show people the spirit, that spirit is large and in charge. And then I will talk about various things and lessons, in the group about that. But it's real important. One of the messages right here, Four of Earth, everybody tries to hold on to their resources and everything, and they don't want to give. And this is a big part of the path. And obviously with Christianity is to be able to give. If somebody needs your coat, give it to them. That's what Jesus said. But I really like this coat, right? No, that's what he said. And there are times that, and I'm not boasting, okay, I'm just trying to give an example. But there are times people have come in the group that they were really bad on hard times. And I would set up donations to be able to donate for them, to help raise money for them. Maybe it was for food, or they couldn't pay their rent, various things like that. Is that not what churches do sometimes? They take in money, but maybe somebody in the congregation needs help. So sometimes we as a group have done that before. And of course, I'm going to donate to my own causes. But I've donated a chunk to people before because that's what Spirit wanted me to do. I can totally feel that message. Help that person. That person needs help and everything. And it's real important to do that. Like, you know what? I could really use that $40, but then, she needs it more. And that's what it comes down to when the call is on. And it's just, when people are holding on to everything like that and not giving, the spirit does see that. One of the things is also another thing, a message from the spirit. The Nine of Fire is about, defending. And a message that I'm kind of getting from Spirit right now is I'm kind of reading that I don't need to be defended. Okay, so that is an important thing, that Spirit wants us to give messages, messages of Spirit, love and compassion and so forth. But as far as Spirit needing to be defended, Spirit can defend themselves, because that's just going to create more opposition and so forth. So we as light workers here, or even if you are Christian and listening to my message, because really all of us, God does not need to be defended. If certain people are talking bad about God, or, they're saying certain things, or even challenging your own faith, it really does not need to be defended. Spirit can take care of themselves. We just want to be the givers. We want to be the generous ones. If we want to show the way of Spirit, it, this will transform people's lives if you show the way of Spirit with love and compassion, because that is everything they're about. And if you want to, get down to brass tacks, Jesus is the light. He is about love and compassion. That was the message. And so many, and it's sad how that message has been twisted over the years, and even profited. And of course, I'm not going to have a Jesus card. I'm not, Tarot does not have a Jesus card. He's above and beyond. But I do have that King of Water to kind of represent, that compassion. Just like it says, trustworthy, compassionate, respected, cultured. That's the way Spirit wants us to be. That especially, to be that trustworthy person, that compassion. That is the message that Spirit's really trying to get out. That's all I want. And if the whole country was that way, we wouldn't be in this boat. But people, ego, we know ego is the problem. And the ego card might pop out. I don't know. It depends however Spirit wants me to relay this message. Right now I've got the Nine of Airs, so a lot of people are worried. They're expecting the worst and so forth. The sleepless nights. Things are getting a little scary in the world. Coronavirus, it's like, why is this happening and everything, And so definitely a lot of people see the signs, and, things with the weather and the climate change and the governments and everything crashing down and the protesting. A lot of people are very worried. But just remember that Spirit does have this, and that's one of the things that keeps me in a peaceful place, so I don't have those sleepless nights, is I know God's in control. No matter what, we'll get through this. We will get through this. And that's a little bit about the Six of Fire. One of the things it says is good news. And isn't that one of, even speaking to my Christians, isn't that what everything's about? Good news. So, Jesus rising is about good news. So, that we have something to look forward to. We're not really different in that, there are even a lot of light workers, who, we believe in the new earth. We're similar in that, heaven on earth. We believe that moment is going to happen. We may differ a little bit exactly how that goes down. And that's kind of like with me, it's like, I don't know exactly how it's going to go down. I just know it's going to happen, a little bit. But things are picking up. I've got the Knight of Air. So things are picking up and they're going to speed up a little bit. Now I've got the Five of Earth, which is also a worry card. But one of the things about this card, this is especially about the outcast. If you've ever looked at, any of the tarot cards of the Five of Earth, it's like the sick and, the people, one of them is disabled and they're out in the snow and they've lost everything, and these are the people, okay, that Spirit wants cared for. The people that have been kicked out in the snow that you're not helping, and see, this is the thing, like when you see people that are homeless and this and that, and I know some organizations are trying to do something, but And I've done it, with my ex. We'll be in the car, and there are times, why doesn't he get a job if he didn't do drugs? And I'm like, listen, and I will sit there, and I'm like, listen, you don't know what got him there, okay? You don't know what he went through. For all you know, his wife died. For all you know, his kids died in a fire, okay? You don't know. Maybe he was beaten as a child. Maybe he went to war and lost his mind and lost everything, and that's why he's there. I'm like, you don't know his story. So don't sit there and judge him and think he's a drug addict. Don't necessarily think that you know who he is, because you don't. Because you don't know. You don't know if he's got a mental illness and he was trying to get treated and nobody would do anything for him. You don't know who these people are. I see that's a big problem, okay? Because there are a lot of people, and he's a good person normally, but you know how people can be. This is a common thing. When people look at someone homeless, they judge. And that is one of the things that Jesus was like, no. And that's one of the things I tried to tell him. You don't know his story. You don't know what got him there. And what is the difference between you and him? Not much. That could have been you. You never know. If you had lived his life, that could have been you. So sometimes I get preachy. I get preachy in the car. But that's one of the things we need to understand. People will look down on others, and you don't know what they've been through. You don't know where they've come from, and how, possibly that could be you. And as I drew that, I just drew the six of water, like childhood and so forth. And that's one of the things is especially, one of the things I could definitely get with the scripture is children are really valued, because they're so innocent and loving, that, we're kind of to be like that. We're kind of to be like children and so forth. Sorry, I had something pop up on my screen. But that is an important thing, in the light worker way. But for those, who are kind of like, with everything going on, my outcome card is the star. There is hope, there is hope for us. And, I know deep down we can come together. I do have a lot of hope, inevitably. Maybe everything will have to go crazy. Maybe everybody will have to be at each other's throats, and all of a sudden it's just going to dawn on everyone. I don't know. I don't know how it's all going to go down. I just know that there will be a moment, when everyone wakes up, that we all kind of awaken, but we're really not that different. So it's really important as the light worker, that, be careful how people are portrayed, like when they're portraying Christians, but they show you mainly these conservatives that are really judgy, and poor Doreen Virtue, she went that road. She became that person, because there were certain people like that, that kind of got to her and so forth. But there are other people that are not like that. And I would say the bulk are just trying to be good people. There's a lot that really, that they were the majority of the time I really heard the ones that are really true on the path. They hit a real low point in their life, and they kind of reached up, prayed this, like, there's nothing left to do here, but maybe read this Bible and see if I can get any help. And then miraculous things started happening once they, did the sinner's prayer and everything, gave their lives over, with the change. And yes, the change is dramatic for many Christians. That's one of the reasons the religion is so popular. A lot of people had dramatic changes and transformations in their faith. So, so it's real important to keep that in mind. We're really not different. We are just trying to grow spiritually, and we're all just trying to honor the Spirit in some way. We may have different ways to go about it and so forth, but, we're not that different. So try not to be, we're not in opposition. The Spirit does not need to be defended. That's one of the things. Spirit doesn't want all out wars, you know, saying, you know, God this, that. We have to have an all out war. Spirit does not want that. Of course not. Spirit wants us to come together, you know. And of course, Spirit wants to be acknowledged. I mean, don't think Spirit doesn't want to be acknowledged. Of course they do. They want to be acknowledged because, you know, look what they gave us. Look what they gave us. Why would you not want to be acknowledged? It's kind of like when you're a parent and you do things for your kids. You don't need them to worship you and all that, but you kind of would like to hear thank you once in a while. You know, you would like to hear a little bit, have a little respect. You know, just think of your kids, you know, you paying their bills, you're feeding them this and that, you know, thank you, mom, you know, thank you, dad, you know, and everything, you know, not forget about you on your birthday, and maybe do a little something nice for you in honor of you, you know, on Mother's Day or Father's Day, you know, a little bit of respect for all that's done. So of course Spirit wants that. It doesn't necessarily mean bow down, worship, fall down and everything. But it's especially about God, just say thank you. Have that gratitude. And that's one of the things on the light worker path, and I try to tell you guys, have that gratitude. That's that's so important. Thank you. Thank you. I have this, I have that. Thank you. Thank you. I couldn't have had it without you. I hope you guys enjoy my read.